Crocodiles. The ancient predators of the water. In the murky waters of tropical rivers, swamps, and estuaries around the world, a pair of eyes and nostrils break the surface tension with barely a ripple. Below lies one of Earth's most successful predators, virtually unchanged for over 200 million years. Crocodiles represent a living link to the age of dinosaurs, embodying the raw power and primal intelligence that has allowed them to survive multiple mass extinction events while countless other species vanished into evolutionary history. These magnificent reptiles are far more than the mindless killing machines often portrayed in popular culture. They are sophisticated hunters, devoted parents, and complex social animals that have mastered the art of aquatic predation through millions of years of evolutionary refinement. From the massive saltwater crocodiles of Australia to the smaller caimans of South America, these ancient predators continue to rule their watery domains with an authority that commands both fear and respect. Evolutionary mastery. A design perfected through time. The evolutionary story of crocodiles begins in the Triassic period, approximately 240 million years ago, when their ancestors first emerged as semi-aquatic predators. Unlike their dinosaur cousins who diversified into countless forms before facing extinction, crocodiles discovered an ecological niche so perfect that major changes became unnecessary. Their basic body plan, a powerful tail for propulsion, armored skin for protection, and jaws designed for crushing, proved so effective that it has remained largely unchanged since the Cretaceous period. This evolutionary conservatism reflects not stagnation but perfection. Every aspect of crocodile anatomy serves their role as apex aquatic predators. Their laterally compressed tails generate tremendous thrust underwater, allowing them to reach speeds of up to 25 miles per hour in short bursts. Their eyes, ears, and nostrils are positioned on the top of their skulls, enabling them to remain almost completely submerged while monitoring their surroundings, an adaptation that makes them nearly invisible to unsuspecting prey. The crocodile's skeletal system tells the story of an animal built for both power and efficiency. Their vertebrae are reinforced with additional bony structures called osteoderms, which not only provide protection but also serve as calcium reserves during periods of limited food availability. These same osteoderms create the distinctive armored appearance that has made crocodiles symbols of primordial strength across cultures worldwide. Modern crocodilians represent three distinct families that have diverged over millions of years. True crocodiles, members of the Crocodilidae family, are found primarily in tropical regions of Africa, Asia, the Americas, and Australia. Alligators and caimans, belonging to the Alligatoridae family, are restricted to the Americas and China. The gharial, representing the Gavialidae family, is found only in the Indian subcontinent and especially adapted for catching fish with its elongated, narrow snout. Anatomy of a perfect predator. The crocodile's body is a masterpiece of predatory engineering, with every system optimized for their role as ambush hunters. Their cardiovascular system is perhaps the most sophisticated among reptiles, featuring a four-chambered heart similar to mammals and birds. This advanced circulatory system allows for efficient oxygen distribution during long periods underwater and supports the high-energy demands of their explosive hunting style. Their respiratory system includes a secondary palate that separates the mouth from the nasal passages, enabling them to breathe while their mouths are submerged or full of prey. Special valves conceal their throats and nostrils when diving, while a transparent membrane protects their eyes underwater without sacrificing vision. These adaptations allow crocodiles to remain submerged for up to an hour, though most hunting dives last only 15 minutes. The crocodile's sensory systems are equally impressive. Their eyes contain a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum, which enhances night vision by reflecting light back through the retina. This adaptation, combined with excellent underwater vision, makes them formidable nocturnal hunters. Their hearing is acute both above and below water, with external ears that can be sealed shut during dives. Perhaps most remarkable are the integumentary sensory organs found on their skin, particularly around the jaws and face. These specialized receptors can detect minute vibrations in water, changes in water pressure, and even chemical gradients. This sensory network allows crocodiles to locate prey in complete darkness or murky water with extraordinary precision, making them effective hunters even in the most challenging conditions. The crocodile's digestive system reflects their role as opportunistic predators capable of consuming massive meals followed by long periods of fasting. Their stomach acid is among the most corrosive in the animal kingdom, with pH levels reaching 1.5 during digestion. This powerful acid can dissolve bones, turtle shells, and other hard materials that would be indigestible to most predators. Masters of the hunt, predatory strategies and techniques. Crocodile hunting behavior represents millions of years of evolutionary refinement in ambush predation. Their primary strategy relies on patience, stealth, and explosive power rather than extended pursuit. A hunting crocodile will often remain motionless for hours, appearing like a floating log until prey ventures within striking distance. This ambush technique conserves energy while maximizing the element of surprise. The famous death roll is perhaps the most iconic crocodile hunting behavior. When attacking large prey, crocodiles will clamp down with their powerful jaws and then rotate their entire body rapidly, using the leverage to disorient prey, break bones, and tear off manageable pieces. This technique allows relatively small crocodiles to subdue prey much larger than themselves, including large mammals that venture too close to the water's edge. Crocodiles are also capable of remarkable precision when hunting smaller prey. They can snatch birds from overhanging branches with lightning-fast lunges, often propelling their entire body out of the water in pursuit of aerial targets. Their ability to judge distance and timing underwater is so refined that they rarely miss when launching these spectacular attacks. Seasonal hunting patterns vary among different species and regions. During dry seasons when prey animals are forced to congregate around remaining water sources, crocodiles may enter a feeding frenzy, consuming massive amounts of food that will sustain them through leaner periods. Some species have been observed working cooperatively during these times, with multiple individuals coordinating their attacks on large prey animals. The crocodile's diet is remarkably diverse and opportunistic. Young crocodiles primarily feed on insects, small fish and crustaceans, gradually progressing to larger prey as they grow. Adult crocodiles will consume fish, birds, mammals, other reptiles, and even smaller crocodiles. Their catholic appetite and ability to digest almost any organic matter makes them highly adaptable to changing environmental conditions. Social complexity. Beyond the lone predator myth. Contrary to popular belief, crocodiles exhibit sophisticated social behaviors that challenge the stereotype of the solitary reptilian predator. During breeding seasons, complex hierarchies emerge based on size, age, and territorial control. Dominant males establish territories that they defend vigorously from rivals while simultaneously attracting females through elaborate courtship displays. Crocodile communication involves a rich array of vocalizations, body postures, and chemical signals. Adult crocodiles produce deep, resonant bellows that can travel for miles through swampland, serving to establish territory, attract mates, and coordinate group activities. Younger crocodiles have an extensive vocabulary of chirps, grunts, and calls that facilitate communication with parents and siblings. Maternal behavior in crocodiles is remarkably sophisticated for reptiles. Females carefully select nesting sites, construct elaborate nests, and guard their eggs for 2 to 3 months during incubation. The mother responds to calls from hatching young, often assisting them in breaking free from their shells and then carefully transporting them to water in her mouth. This parental care continues for several months or even years, with mothers protecting their young from predators and teaching them hunting techniques. Some species exhibit communal nesting behaviors, with multiple females constructing their nests in close proximity and sharing protective duties. This cooperation increases the survival rate of young crocodiles and demonstrates a level of social organization rarely seen in reptiles. Crocodiles also display complex territorial behaviors that vary with season, food availability, and population density. During times of abundance, individuals may tolerate close proximity to others, sometimes basking together in large groups. However, when resources become scarce, territorial boundaries are strictly enforced through displays of dominance, physical confrontations, and elaborate threat postures. Ecological architects. The crocodile's environmental impact. As apex predators, crocodiles play crucial roles in maintaining the health and balance of aquatic ecosystems. Their presence helps control populations of various prey species, preventing any single group from overwhelming available resources. This regulatory function is particularly important in tropical freshwater systems where biodiversity is high but ecological balance can be delicate. Crocodiles serve as what ecologists call a keystone species, organisms whose impact on their environment is disproportionately large relative to their abundance. Their hunting activities help maintain open water areas in dense aquatic vegetation by creating channels and clearings through their movement patterns. These pathways benefit other aquatic species and contribute to overall habitat diversity. The nutrient cycling role of crocodiles is often overlooked but ecologically significant. As they move between terrestrial and aquatic environments, crocodiles transport nutrients from land to water through their waste products and decomposing prey remains. This transfer of nutrients supports the productivity of aquatic plant communities and the entire food web they support. Crocodile nests create unique microhabitats that benefit numerous other species. The decomposing vegetation used in nest construction provides nutrients for surrounding plant communities, while the excavated nesting sites often become permanent waterholes that serve other wildlife during dry seasons. Some bird species have been observed nesting in close proximity to crocodile colonies, apparently benefiting from the protection these formidable neighbors provide against other predators. The presence of crocodiles in an ecosystem often indicates environmental health. These long-lived predators are sensitive to pollution, habitat degradation, and disruption of food webs. Their populations serve as important indicators of ecosystem integrity, and their decline often signals broader environmental problems that may not be immediately apparent. Species diversity. A global family of survivors. The modern crocodilian family comprises 24 recognized species, each adapted to specific environmental conditions and ecological niches. The saltwater crocodile stands as the largest living reptile, with exceptional individuals reaching lengths of over 20 feet and weights exceeding 2,000 pounds. These magnificent predators inhabit coastal waters from northern Australia to Southeast Asia, and are capable of long ocean journeys that have allowed them to colonize distant islands. At the opposite end of the size spectrum, the dwarf caiman of South America rarely exceeds 4 feet in length, but is perfectly adapted to life in small forest streams and temporary pools. Between these extremes lies a remarkable diversity of forms and ecological strategies, from the fish-eating gharial with its needle-like snout to the broad-skulled American alligator that thrives in the swamps of the southeastern United States. The Cuban crocodile represents one of the most endangered species in the family, with fewer than 4,000 individuals remaining in the wild. These remarkable predators are found only in the Zapata swamp and Isla de la Juventud in Cuba, and are distinguished by their unusual ability to leap completely out of water when attacking prey. Their precarious conservation status highlights the vulnerability of many crocodilian species to habitat loss and human interference. The gharial of India and Nepal has perhaps the most specialized anatomy among crocodilians, with males developing a distinctive bulbous growth called a gara on the tip of their snouts. This structure amplifies their vocalizations during breeding season and serves as a visual display of male fitness. Unfortunately, gharial populations have declined by over 95% in recent decades, making them one of the most critically endangered crocodilian species. African crocodiles demonstrate remarkable adaptability to diverse environments, from the Nile crocodile that ranges from the Mediterranean to southern Africa to the West African crocodile that has learned to survive in temporary pools that completely dry up during the dry season. These species showcase the incredible evolutionary flexibility that has allowed crocodilians to colonize virtually every suitable aquatic habitat in tropical and subtropical regions. Conservation challenges and success stories. The conservation history of crocodilians represents both one of wildlife management's greatest success stories and an ongoing challenge requiring continued vigilance. During the mid-20th century, many crocodilian species faced extinction due to overhunting for their valuable hides, which were prized for luxury leather goods. The American alligator population fell to fewer than 1,000 individuals by the 1960s, while saltwater crocodiles disappeared from much of their former range. The implementation of protective legislation, including the Endangered Species Act in the United States and CITES, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, internationally, marked a turning point for many species. The American Alligator Recovery Program became a model for conservation efforts worldwide, with populations rebounding from near extinction to over 1 million individuals today. This success was achieved through a combination of habitat protection, regulated hunting programs, and innovative captive breeding initiatives. Sustainable use programs have proven particularly effective for crocodilian conservation. Countries like Zimbabwe, Venezuela, and Colombia have developed crocodile farming operations that provide economic incentives for habitat protection while reducing pressure on wild populations. These programs demonstrate how conservation and economic development can work together when properly managed. However, significant challenges remain for many species. Habitat loss due to agricultural expansion, urban development, and climate change continues to threaten crocodilian populations worldwide. River damming and water diversion projects alter the flood cycles that many species depend on for breeding, while pollution from agricultural runoff and industrial sources degrades water quality in critical habitats. Human-crocodile conflict presents another complex challenge for conservation efforts. As human populations expand into traditional crocodile habitats, encounters between people and these powerful predators become increasingly common. Education programs that teach local communities about crocodile behavior and safety measures are essential for reducing conflicts while maintaining public support for conservation efforts. Climate change poses emerging threats to crocodilian populations through rising sea levels, changing precipitation patterns, and temperature increases that can skew sex ratios in species with temperature-dependent sex determination. Conservation strategies must now account for these long-term environmental changes while addressing immediate threats to population survival. Cultural significance. Symbols of power and mystery. Throughout human history, crocodiles have occupied a unique place in cultural consciousness, serving as symbols of power, danger, and primordial wisdom. Ancient Egyptian civilization revered the crocodile god Sobek, who was associated with the Nile River's life-giving floods and pharaonic power. Crocodiles were mummified and buried with elaborate ceremony, reflecting their sacred status in Egyptian society. Aboriginal Australian cultures have maintained spiritual connections to crocodiles for thousands of years, with these animals featuring prominently in Dreamtime stories and traditional art. The saltwater crocodile, known as the Old Man in many Aboriginal languages, is viewed as an ancestral being deserving of respect and caution. Traditional hunting practices and seasonal movements were often organized around crocodile behavior patterns, demonstrating the deep ecological knowledge of indigenous peoples. In modern popular culture, crocodiles continue to capture human imagination through their portrayal in films, literature, and media. While these representations often emphasize their dangerous nature, they also acknowledge the grudging respect these ancient predators command. The phrase "crocodile tears" entered common usage as a metaphor for false emotion, derived from the ancient belief that crocodiles wept while consuming their prey. Contemporary conservation efforts increasingly recognize the importance of cultural values in protecting crocodilian species. Programs that incorporate traditional ecological knowledge and cultural practices have proven more successful than purely scientific approaches, particularly in developing countries where local communities play crucial roles in habitat protection. The economic value of crocodiles extends beyond their ecological importance to include substantial contributions to local and national economies through ecotourism, sustainable harvesting programs, and cultural heritage tourism. Crocodile viewing operations in places like the Florida Everglades, Northern Australia, and the Pantanal of Brazil generate millions of dollars annually while providing economic incentives for habitat conservation. Looking forward. The future of ancient predators. As we advance deeper into the 21st century, the future of crocodilians depends largely on humanity's ability to balance conservation with development, tradition with modernization, and fear with respect. These remarkable predators have survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, and dramatic climate changes throughout their evolutionary history, but they now face the unprecedented challenge of coexisting with an increasingly dominant human species. Advances in conservation technology offer new hope for crocodilian protection and management. Satellite tracking allows researchers to monitor individual animals over vast distances, providing insights into migration patterns, habitat use, and population dynamics that were impossible to obtain through traditional methods. Genetic techniques help identify distinct populations and guide breeding programs for endangered species, while drone surveillance enables monitoring of remote populations without human disturbance. Education and public awareness campaigns continue to play vital roles in changing attitudes toward crocodilians. As people learn more about the complex behaviors, ecological importance, and conservation needs of these animals, support for protection efforts grows. School programs, wildlife documentaries, and ecotourism experiences help transform fear-based perceptions into appreciation for the remarkable adaptations that have made crocodiles such successful survivors. The development of sustainable use programs represents perhaps the most promising approach to long-term crocodilian conservation. By demonstrating that living crocodiles have greater economic value than dead ones, these programs create powerful incentives for habitat protection and species conservation. The challenge lies in ensuring that such programs are properly regulated and that local communities receive fair benefits from conservation efforts. International cooperation remains essential for protecting species that cross national boundaries and for sharing conservation technologies and techniques. Organizations like the Crocodile Specialist Group of the International Union for Conservation of Nature facilitate communication between researchers, conservationists, and government agencies worldwide, ensuring that successful conservation strategies can be adapted and implemented across different regions and cultures. Conclusion: Guardians of ancient waters. Crocodiles represent far more than successful predators or evolutionary curiosities. They are living links to Earth's deep past, survivors of catastrophes that eliminated countless other species, and irreplaceable components of the ecosystems they inhabit. Their complex social behaviors, sophisticated hunting strategies, and crucial ecological roles challenge simple categorizations and demand respect from those who share their world. The story of crocodilian conservation demonstrates both the resilience of these remarkable animals and the power of committed conservation action. Species that once teetered on the brink of extinction have recovered to healthy population levels, while others continue to benefit from expanding protection efforts. However, the challenges facing crocodilians in the modern world require continued vigilance, innovative approaches, and sustained commitment from the global community. As we look toward the future, the survival of crocodiles depends not only on protected areas and conservation programs but also on fostering coexistence between humans and these ancient predators. This requires education, understanding, and respect for both the animals themselves and the communities that have shared landscapes with them for generations. In the quiet waters where crocodiles still reign supreme, we glimpse something of the world as it existed long before human civilization emerged. These ancient predators carry within their genes the memory of vanished continents and extinct ecosystems, serving as living reminders of life's incredible persistence and adaptability. Their continued survival enriches our planet's biodiversity and connects us to the deep time scales across which life has evolved and flourished. The crocodile's unwavering gaze from partially submerged eyes reflects not only the watchful patience of a supreme predator, but also the enduring mystery of survival against overwhelming odds. In protecting these remarkable animals, we preserve not only individual species but also the evolutionary heritage they represent and the ecological integrity of the waters they call home. The ancient predators of the water deserve nothing less than our continued commitment to ensuring their survival for future generations to witness and wonder at their timeless majesty.